Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
But I'm going to start. Let me see, who do we have here? Let's start. Actually, the first person. Let's do this. Let's take one of the guests. So let's take Michelle. So Michelle, since you're under Andre and you're a guest and you don't have this, let's create a file for you and everybody else. I want you to type in your area. So Michelle, where are you, in the city of Atlanta, or are you in what county are you in, Barnes?
Cobb County.
Cobb County. All right.
Yes.
Been there many times. Cobb County, Georgia. I probably taught easily 40, maybe 50, close to 50 classes in Georgia over the years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And I would tell you what, I say this every time because I can't help myself. If you haven't been to Mary Mac's restaurant, right in town, you haven't lived yet till you go to Mary Mac's and eat a good old-fashioned Mary Mac's Southern cooking dinner, So, and next time I'm in Atlanta, Michelle, and Andre, I've taken Andre. I can't remember, Dan Hills, when you were there or not before.
Yeah, I was there.
I took everybody out to dinner.
Yeah,
That's
you bought me a meal. You bought me a meal there, Gary, and I still appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd spend $1,000 if I had to take people if they would just eat with me at Mary Mac's, mate, I'm telling you. So, okay, so let's get back to this. The next category, there's 4 drop-down menus, is lead type. Absentee owners. This is just a simple postal office, U.S. Postal Service term, meaning the owner doesn't live there. It doesn't mean they're absent like they're doing something bad. They don't live there. It's probably a rental, or it could be a second home, right? So active listing obviously means it's actively listed. I won't spend a lot of time on these definitions because you can always hover over the question mark and it'll tell you what it is. Cash buyers obviously pay cash for it. Delinquent taxes. I do like this category, and I'll tell you why. Back at the end of the last year, we got a report that showed us that there's over $30 billion in unpaid property taxes in the country at the time. But the real kicker is this: 93% of the owners had no mortgage. Just let that sink in for a second. 93% of the owners that owe property taxes have no mortgage. Okay. Now, if you think about it a little bit, it's because they probably paid off the mortgage, and when they did, the bank's no longer escrowing for taxes and insurance. So the owners have to pay that themselves directly out of pocket. And when that bill comes around every April, if they don't have the money, they can't pay it. And that happens probably quite a bit, as you might imagine. Also, investors are famous for not accounting for property taxes. They account for it in their purchase when they do the pro forma. But what happens is, if you're getting a commercial mortgage, and you can get a commercial mortgage on a single family home if you want, as long as it's a rental, commercial mortgages don't escrow for taxes and insurance. So you'll find a lot of investor-owned properties where the owners are behind on property taxes. Okay.
Hey, Gary, that was 30 billion that you said?
Yep.
And 93% are paid in full. When did that report come out, out of curiosity? When did you get that?
So 93% have no mortgage. The ones who are behind on property taxes. That came out. I can't remember. Oh, I think I found it. I found it on Connected Investor. That's where it was. Connected Investor. That's where I found it.
Thanks, sweetie.
Yeah, pretty compelling information. So in any case, people, where there's some foreclosure activity, these are properties that may go through the foreclosure process. They may not have entered or completed the foreclosure process yet. How is this identified? We received notices from several counties where a foreclosure notice has been filed. They used to call that notice of default, or NOD. In almost all counties, that has to be published in the local paper 3 times. Okay. As these notices vary from state to state based on whether it's a judicial or non-judicial jurisdiction. Okay, free and clear, that means they don't owe anything on it at all. High equity, obviously they have high equity, low equity. Upside down means they owe more than the property is worth. That's upside down, right? Active investor owned, that means it's, we'll just check it out. So if a landlord owns the property, they're absentee owner, they don't live there. and they bought it in the last 3 years. That's a new category, by the way. Versus the next one, board investor, is an investor that's, again, absentee owner, so that they don't live there, and they've owned up more than 10 years. Okay, 10 or more years. So in any case, this is a property that's been flipped, obviously. You guys, I tell you what, I'm surprised at how many new categories are here. Foreclosures, let's just click on that and see why this is different. These properties have gone through the foreclosure process in their state and have been foreclosed on. So they're already been foreclosed on, and chances are a bank or some lender somewhere is getting ready to sell that property. Potentially inherited, we look for transactions where there is no mortgage associated with the property at the time of the sale, excuse me. Let me just try to get more information on this. Okay. Oops, the wrong one. Foreclosure, right? Oh, sorry, potentially inherited. That's where I was. I'm moving too fast here. Let's see what this says for more information. Now, as I'm going through these guys, I want you to think through what this could mean to you and your clients. Okay. By the way, this is the whole glossary of all these search terms. So low equity, upside down, delinquent tax activity, probate. Let's see, board investor, foreclosures, long-term owner, potentially inherited. All right. Okay, so this was, we look for transactions where there are no mortgages associated with the property at the time of sale or transfer. If the last name of the buyer matches the last name of the seller, we flag these properties as being potentially inherited. In other words, child inherited a property from a parent who recently passed away, and they're guessing that it's sort of like a guess based on last name and no mortgage. But there's more that's potentially inherited. Now, let me go back here. We'll keep that up. There's more categories. Whoops. Let's see, lead pipe. Also, let me just do back arrow. Hang on 1 second. Hopefully I didn't lose my search. Well, that's okay. We'll start over again. We'll do Cobb County. GA for Georgia. Let's just finish up these terms here. Let me scroll down just a wee bit. Active investor, board investor, potentially pre-foreclosure. Okay, so pre-foreclosure is, they've received notices from several counties when a foreclosure notice has been filed, and I think we already covered that. Vacancy, houses identified. The United States Postal Service maintains a database of vacant properties, which we're able to obtain. Zombie property. This property is, if a property is an active pre-foreclosure process and has been identified from the U.S. Postal Service as being vacant, this property is categorized as being a zombie foreclosure. For more information on zombie foreclosures, refer to this description here. So what I want to do, guys, is I'm going to take long-term owner. This is 25 years of ownership or more. So it's similar to board investor, except it's 25 years or more, and it's not absentee owner. These folks actually live there. The long-term owner, and I'm going to combine it with delinquent tax activity. All right. I'm going to leave it be all ownership types. And I'm going to focus in this case only on single family homes. You can focus on any one of these categories, or you can select all the categories. Okay. Oops. Actually, let me go back here real quick. I forgot to click off the multi. I'm just going to do single family homes, delinquent tax activity, and long-term owner. Oops, there's another category checked here. I didn't want. Let's click off pre-foreclosure. Okay. So now we got 4,474 properties where the people are behind on their property taxes and they live there 25 years or more. Now, that's a lot of properties. So it's way too much for any one person to handle. Okay. However, we could add more categories to this, right? We could add more criteria. It wouldn't be vacant because it's the owner technically is supposedly still living there. But what if we did this? What if we specifically selected free and clear. So we're making sure that they don't have a mortgage. And I dropped it down to 3,000. That's still not a lot. So let's do this. Let's add vacant. Add absentee owner. Now we got 4 criteria. We're down to less than 3,000. That's still a lot of properties. So guys, I'm going to do a quick pause here to explain something. The reason why I'm going through such great pains to narrow this down is, number one, I don't want a list of 3,000 people. I want a list of about 300 people if possible. It's much easier to manage. I can contact them directly. But also, the more criteria I select, the more highly motivated that owner is going to be. Would you guys agree? Like, does that make sense? The more criteria that they've identified with them, they own it 25 years. They're not currently living there. They're behind on property taxes, and they don't have a mortgage. There's definitely a story there. And the reason that's important to me is I've worked with foreclosure in the past. I've worked with probate, and I've worked with bankruptcy. And I'll just tell you, they work, but they're a pain in the butt. So let me ask anybody on here, if you've worked with foreclosure, bankruptcy, or probate in the past, please raise your hand or just type "I have" in the chat box. Okay, so you got Gina and Karen. So Gina, what's your recollection of working with foreclosure, bankruptcy, and probate deals?
There's a reason why they're in foreclosure, bankruptcy, or probate. They're they're not easy deals. They take a long time, but really it's not. It's that you're dealing with the person and the personalities. So if you're dealing with somebody, for instance, that is maybe not paying their bills, well, they're not doing paperwork and doing those kinds of things also. So they're just harder to work. It's that.
Yeah. And not only that, in all 3 of those scenarios, would you agree that somewhere along the way there's going to be some lawyers involved?
Yep.
Absolutely. Are lawyers known for speeding up a closing process or slowing down a closing process?
Oh, they make it so quick and easy.
I was going to say more
on deals.
Yeah. More
go
than
ahead, Karen. Yeah.
I was just going to say, more than the people, it's really all of the red tape. It could be the bank, it could be the lawyer, it could be whatever. The people may be completely willing, and everybody else, actually either halts the process, slows down the process. Sometimes you're lucky to even get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I've had them take over a year.
And in the probate scenarios, even if they say it's gone through probate and another agent lists it, you really need to know your probate in your state, because I had a buyer side and the listing agent, we've just closed property that way before. And I said, well, we're not closing it this way before because the title company found this and there were 9 heirs.
Yep. I had one with 7. All 7 siblings were still alive. They refused to elect a custodian or guardian. I forget what the term is in probate. They all had to sign everything. They all had to be present for everything. And it was like pulling teeth. But you know what? We got it done.
And you have to know the difference between the personal representative and the power of attorney, because sometimes they think the power of attorney is the paper they need, and it's not.
Right. Yeah. So, but that property, by the way, was one of my own. I bought it as a 3-unit, and then I finished out the attic and finished out the basement, made it a 5-unit, and doubled my money on the sale. Plus, I made rent when I was doing all the work. So it ended up being definitely worth it. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to switch gears here. I just want you to take a look at this and think through this criteria. They don't live there, absentee owner, delinquent tax activity, they own it free and clear, and they've owned it 25 years or more. And the best part of all is, I know in this scenario, I'm dealing directly with the owner. I don't have to deal with lawyers and courts and banks. I'm dealing directly with the owner, which is much easier. Now, I'm going to show you another category here where you are working directly with the owner. However, the bank's going to be involved, and that is pre-foreclosure. Now, if you were on last week, Peter Drexelman mentioned pre-foreclosure. Okay, so check this out, Michelle. You got 19 people in Cobb County that own single-family homes. that are in pre-foreclosure. So this might be one you want to grab. Michelle, what we'll do here is before we're done, I want you to kind of tell me what you want in a file, and I'm going to create a file for you personally, and I'll send it to you because I know you don't have access to the system, but I'll create a file for
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll
You're
take
welcome.
the pre-foreclosures and or delinquent taxes, either one.
Okay. We can do both. And just remember me when you're rich and famous, okay?
Yes.
All right. So, any case, here's what I like about pre-foreclosure, and here's what I don't like about pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure, you are dealing with the owner. However, because they're in pre-foreclosure, they're already behind 1 or more months on their mortgage payments. So, what happens is you can get the property under contract to list for sale, right? And that gives you some leverage when dealing with the bank, because you still have to deal with the bank, but the bank doesn't have title on the property yet. What they do have is called first right of refusal in the mortgage and note documentation. When this person bought the house and they got a mortgage, the bank was smart enough to protect themselves, to say that if this person gets behind on the mortgage payments, remember the bank's going to incur additional costs like lawyers' fees, all kinds of stuff, just to file a notice of default. It takes money. So they're going to put in there that the owner cannot sell the property while they're in pre-foreclosure without the bank's approval of the offer. Unfortunately, you just have to deal with it. Now, in some cases, and I've done this before, and this is what I recommend on pre-foreclosure, we actually would find a local attorney who advertises that they work with pre-foreclosure. And what they do is they act as a mediator between the owner, you, and the bank. And they're able to work their way through that maze, the banking maze, much more quickly than you or I can as just regular consumers. So let's do a quick checker. Again, if you've ever worked with a pre-foreclosure, please unmute yourself or raise your hand or just type in the chat box if anybody's done a pre-foreclosure.
Yep.
Is that Dan? So Dan Hillsman, if you wouldn't mind, were you able to get it done just you directly with the owner of the bank, or did you get an attorney involved to act as mediator?
I had to get an attorney involved, and then we had to delay it and then do a short sale actually. And it was about a little bit over a year. I did get it closed right before, I don't mean this in a negative way, but right before the lady passed away. So at one point I'm like, we got to hurry up and get there because we don't have a lot of control of the time here. But it was actually turned out, it was a blessing for her son in a roundabout way. So it was. We couldn't have done it without the attorney. I would have lost all of my hair.
Yeah, it's worth it. So what's interesting is the way they work is you as the agent don't have to pay the attorney. That comes out of the owner's pocket, right? So the owner, and it's sometimes actually just like $1,000, maybe $1,500 in some high-end areas, but it's worth it because the amount of time that they save and the fact that they actually can get to the right person. They actually will deal with an attorney who works for the bank. So the attorney works with the attorney.
Yep.
They meet eye to eye and they get the deal done. Because remember, the bank, you're not dealing with a banker on this. You're actually dealing with an attorney who represents the bank or actually is on the bank's board or the bank's payroll,
I wouldn't even consider doing it ever. My biggest lesson from that, Gary, was to always get my closing attorney involved to handle that, because I couldn't have done that either. I mean, the amount of time, effort, and energy it took to get that done, I don't know how that makes sense business-wise for them, but they actually have a little department that handles that. But that was the blessing, because I wouldn't have known how to do it, even though being licensed over 20 years, I would have had no clue how to continuously work with all the parties that needed to be worked with to delay foreclosures and to make it and to get the deal to closing and then actually closed.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something else that happens sometimes, guys, and this happened to me on one, and it was so bad. The banks, they group their mortgages in bunches based on how good the note is. So they call it A paper, B paper, C paper. So A paper is the prime grade A mortgages. Everybody's current on their mortgage payments. Everybody's happy. The bank's happy, and they've clumped that in one category, one tape called the A tape. And then the B tape is like, it's still pretty good, but there's some rough patches in that batch of mortgages. C grade is trouble. Those are the ones that they're so many people behind. They can look at all these court cases. But what they do is they group these mortgages together and sell them. The C grade, they sell much more frequently. Like they would never sell the A grade. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some banks sell all the mortgages. The banks that do, some they keep, some they sell. The ones they keep, that's called portfolio lending. They keep the portfolio of loans that they've made in-house because they're good paying mortgages. But the ones they sell, they're selling them to, basically to Wall Street. Groups of mortgages are being bought up by Wall Street investors, and you and I invest them in, and they'll say Fannie Mae backed mortgages, Freddie Mac backed mortgages. We can purchase shares in mutual funds of those mortgage blocks. In any case, what happens is because the low end mortgages, the ones that are in trouble, get sold, they could be sold 2 or 3 times before the foreclosure ever happens, if it does happen. So you could be working on a file, this is what I'm getting at, with the lender, and 6 months into it, they sell that mortgage with a bunch of other bad mortgages to another investor who's going to try to do workouts or force the people out and do what's called buyouts or cash for keys. They'll say, look, we'll give you $2,000 if you just give us title to the property and hit the road. And then they'll take it and fix it up and resell it for profit or what have you. That mortgage could be sold 2 or 3 times. I've had that happen. And every time that mortgage is sold, what happens is you, the realtor, has to start all over again with the proceedings because now you're dealing with a different lender, right? A different mortgage holder. I've actually had this happen before too. This is really bad. They're called asset managers. A lot of asset managers is the name given for the people that are managing these blocks of properties for people. Well, if an asset manager goes out of business, right, and that block of mortgages gets sold, the new owner of the property of the mortgages doesn't recognize any debt on the past on the part of the old provider, the old asset manager, excuse me. So, for example, a lot of those asset managers started requiring you and I, the realtor, to pay the electric bill, the water bill, the gas bill, cut the lawn, all that kind of stuff, and they would reimburse us at every month. In the beginning, it's like, what the heck, it's just another pain in the neck, I'll do it. I learned to not ever do that because I did that for an asset manager at a property, and they sold their business to another asset manager, went out of business, and the other asset manager did not recognize the debts of the former asset manager, and I got stuck with all that debt, right? All those payments I had to pay out of pocket. So I'm just, I know this isn't all good news, but it's our responsibility to give you all the news, whether it's good or bad, so you know what you're getting into. With the pre-foreclosure, right now is probably a good time because there's more properties in pre-foreclosure than there have been in quite a long time, but yet they're not in foreclosure yet, which is a whole different animal. When they're in full-blown foreclosure, you're no longer dealing with the owner, you're dealing with the bank that took over the property. And that's when I actually prefer that, honestly, over pre-foreclosure, but it's a whole different ballgame. And you got to really have thick skin and have eyes in the back of your head and know what you're doing. But in the last recession, we sold over 3,000 of those REOs. That's called real estate owned foreclosure. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Here, just out of curiosity, when you're looking at Bank Tracker and they have non-performing assets, are those all foreclosure or are any of those pre-foreclosure?
I have to look at that again. I think there's one category. If you look at it, it says the bank has already taken it back. If you're looking at the assets, yeah. So Bank Tracker. Let's just go there. Yeah, let's go there real quick and see. Because I don't want to guess. It's been a while since I've been there.
All right. And then guys, if you're not on the team, this is a free website, but you want to have this one also. It's a really kick butt website.
Yep. So here it is. So if you guys want to do a screenshot, it's banktracker.investigative reporting workshop, very long, .org. Okay. And I'll keep that up there for a bit. And then what we do is we go down here. So let's look at troubled asset ratio. So this is total troubled assets, excuse me. Includes loans 90 days or more past due, loans that are no longer accruing interest on the bank's books, and property the bank has repossessed for non-payment. The workshop adjusts this amount to deduct loans that have full or partial government guarantees. That's interesting. So what that means is the total aggregate amount of total troubled assets is actually much greater than what they're publishing here, because they just said they adjust the amount to deduct loans that have full or partial government guarantees, which is a lot of loans. So this could be 100. Yeah, this could easily be 140, 210 billion, right? The troubled asset ratio is calculated by the workshop. It is the amount of capital, right, divided by the amount of troubled assets. Lower ratios indicate a stronger bank. So in other words, higher ratios indicate a unhealthy bank. So it's the capital divided by the amount of troubled assets. Okay, so let's go ahead and click all banks, and let's see if we can find one. So you can look at banks and credit unions both. We'll just click on banks.
Where was Michelle located? The one that we were pulling the other numbers for?
Oh, I'm in Cobb County, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So let's look at this one. St. Peters, Missouri, First Advantage Bank. Actually, let's go look at a much bigger one. Let's look at.
Gary, if you click troubled asset ratio twice on anything, click it once, the arrow keys down, and then click it again.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Holy mackerel! These guys are in bad trouble. look at anybody in Monterey, California, Alva, Oklahoma. Let's scroll down here. Let's see. Ryan, Oklahoma. Something's going on with Oklahoma. I'm looking for a bank.
I was just on this yesterday looking for this information.
Okay. Yeah. Clayton, Illinois. What I'm looking for is the big numbers. The percentages do mean obviously the higher the number, the bigger problems they have. But I'm looking for banks in the millions, like this one right here, Clarksville, Iowa. They got almost 2.3 million. And I believe these have already been, the profit. Yeah, the assets. So let's look at, that's what they made a profit. Let's click on that one. Oops, there we go. I'm going to show you how we dissect this a little bit. So remember, it said the total capital, in this case, 39.752 million, divided by total troubled assets, which was 14.2 million. So that's 14.222 is just about 30% of 39. So instead of 39,752,000. So that's a lot. Okay. They have loan loss provisions of only 303,000. That's not good, because they can't use reserves to cover bad loans. They can only use loan loss provisions to cover troubled loans. Okay. And you can see they've got over 14 million in troubled loans. So this bank, if anybody here is anywhere in Illinois, I'd go visit this bank tomorrow. I'm sorry, Iowa, excuse me. I'd go visit this bank tomorrow. So in any case, now back here, I wanted to show you guys something. If you're in Realeflow, I want to show you how you save a file. I accidentally went a step ahead too quickly, so I'm going to save this for Michelle. But before I do, I go up here. See where it says my leads is 0? While we were talking, it actually had 1,500. And what you do is click on that. If there's anything greater than 0, before you save your file, click on this. Go in here and click remove all. Okay, there's none to remove because I've already done it. Then click X to go back to where you were. Now, this little teeny caret here, you click on that and select all. You want to select all 19. Okay, now look, it says my leads is 19. So I'm going to click on that. Now you see here. Now I'm going to download them. So Michelle, I'm going to download these first to my computer, and then I'll send you the file. So guys, we just want standard format. We don't want to do Facebook custom audience. You can, but for the sake of this class, we're just going to do standard format, right? CSV format. We just want the overview. You can click on all these other pieces of data that they can give you, but it's just going to chew up a lot of bandwidth. So I'm just going to do overview. I'm going to export 19 leads. We'll give it a minute, and it's going to show up in my hard drive under my download button. Okay. So now, let me do this real quick, guys, while I've got Michelle on here. So compose. Hey, Michelle, what's your email address?
It's Michelle with one L, so MICHELE dot
There you are.
HA. Yes, that's me.
We must know each other. How's that?
I've been on a few of your
Isn't that crazy?
your trainings.
Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Let me
Yes.
attach the file here.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to get some of this stuff out of the way. So attach. I'm glad to do it. You're very welcome. And there it is right there. It's a CSV file, Michelle. So what you want to do is when you get it, just click on open it up, and it will expand it into an Excel spreadsheet. Okay.
Okay.
So now,
Thank you.
yeah. So let me go back here now. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. Let's go back here. All right. So let's do a quick checkup from the neck up here. Is everybody okay with how I've selected the criteria and then what I just did, how I actually save a file? If you're uncertain in any way, shape, or form, I want to make this a working session so you can actually follow what I'm doing and do it on your own computer. So let me check the chat box here. If you want me to do it again, or if there's another guest you want me to, do a file for you, that would be great. I don't mind. Let's see. This is from Cindy Lucart. Thanks, Cindy. AdamData.com, news market trends for closures. Okay. Hey, guys, this is a great report. In the chat box, go to where Cindy posted this. It's a report. You can highlight the URL there and paste it on a separate browser session so you can look at it later. But Cindy, what was, have you looked at the report? What's the basic gist of it?
So the basic of the report, it happened to be in EXP Workplace, by the way. It was talking about foreclosure rankings, and then it talks about each state as to where it ranks 1 to 50. So you can see whatever state you're in, how high of a probability that you're going to have higher foreclosures. And it compared it to last year's from January to now as well. So you kind of have an idea of a cycling effect of what's going on.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Cindy. Hey, by the way, guys, Seth,
Where was
thanks,
that?
Seth.
Where did you say that was? I'm sorry. Where did she say that was again?
Click the link in the
look
chat
in the
box.
chat box. So the chat box, you have to scroll up to find
I see.
Cindy's. Yep.
I-
How you doing, Benetta?
Hi, I'm doing well. Hi, everybody.
So Seth Marino's on, and I just want to point this out. Realeflow uses data aggregators. All the systems, whether that's FreedomSoft, they all use what's called data aggregators. It's the same exact software from system to system. What they're doing is the software is really good at identifying property records and people records that have had any indication of these activities, foreclosure, probate, what have you. Very accurate on the searching end. Where they're not accurate is they're not telling you, because they don't really do the work. They don't know. It's just dumb software. If the records from this year, last year, the year before. I think Realeflow goes back 3 years. So when you are dealing with foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, probate, I would do one more step and go and Google the property address, or go into your county court records and look for the address and see if the case has been closed, or is it still open and active? And then you only want to deal with the ones that are still open and active. Because I didn't know that in the beginning. I did the same thing. Fortunately, the bankruptcy records were 100% clean, but we did notice in some of the pre-foreclosure records, some of the owners had cleared their debt. They had paid up the mortgage. They paid it. They made it current. but yet the record is still out there. It's still out there. You can still find the old record when they were behind. So please remember that when you're dealing with these sensitive records, you do have to go in and do a quick check and make sure. Same thing with delinquent tax activity. Now, that one's a little bit easier because they do go back, I think, 3 years, and most counties will go back 3 years too. So what's supposed to happen, let's say somebody's behind 3 years on property taxes and they decide to make a payment. The payment is supposed to go towards the oldest outstanding balance, which means let's say it's 3 years ago. That means the current year and the last year are still actively behind. Okay. So you just want to make sure you take the extra step and verify that. Again, not so sensitive on property tax delinquencies. If you want to go and email them, write them, call them, what have you, feel free. Just be prepared. Somebody may have recently made a payment that you're not aware of. But on the foreclosure and pre-foreclosure, if it was me, I would verify every single one. Okay. It's not hard because there's not that many anyways. So thanks, Seth, for bringing that up to my point. And then Heather, you said you had a question on searching in Realeflow. You want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So when I go into my area and I look, I followed your criteria, but I put in like Salem, Oregon, and I came up with 0 properties. So I added a couple different cities and now I have a whole 5. But if I go in and I take the cities out and I put in the counties, it comes back with 0.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I would recommend is clear your session out and start over. Like you might have to log out and log back in.
Okay.
I don't, sometimes that helps, but we can actually play around with that and see what we can find. If for any of you are in a rural area, you're actually better off typically searching at the county level because cities and zip codes are going to be too small,
Yeah.
So,
okay. I'll give it a try. I just logged out and back in. Okay.
Okay. And let me know, Heather, I don't mind trying myself and going in and we can show everybody. Sometimes you have to play detective on these things, So
Right. Okay. I'll let you know, Larry. Thanks.
you're very welcome. And let me check. It seemed like there was another chat there. The same thing happened with the criteria in Richmond, Virginia. That's Brittany Taylor. Okay, let's go ahead and try one then. Kendra says you'll notice that Realeflow info isn't always up to date. Yeah. So you definitely, on the sensitive stuff, you definitely want to do a double check. Let's see, searching. That was Heather, Cindy. That was Cindy. Oreo Schwartz. So I think there was another one up here. Oh, Kathy's charging her computer. Kathy, I'm going to try Richmond first, then we'll come back to Greene County. So let me clear all these out. I'm trying to remember, Brittany, is Richmond also its own county? Richmond County? I can't remember.
It would be, there's Richmond City and like Henrico County.
Henrico County, yeah. That's right. Henrico County.
There is also a Richmond County in northern neck shoot.
Yeah, okay, well, that's right.
There's a Richmond County up near Lancaster County.
Okay.
So there is a Richmond County and there is a Richmond City.
Okay. Something else, guys, I didn't think about this, is you could actually add back in condo and townhome, heck, even multifamily for that matter. I wouldn't add any of the others, though, just based on my experience. So Henrico County, you've got 60, it says 60 in pre-foreclosure between the single family condos, townhomes, and multifamily. So Brittany, I'm going to change that now to just say Richmond. Okay. Oops.
Pre-foreclosures wasn't necessarily the issue. It was the other criteria, the absentee buyer, tax delinquent, free and clear, and all of that. It came up as 0.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, the good news is you do have 28 pre-foreclosure in Richmond and 60 in Henrico County. So let me go back. Well, maybe let me go to the county first. Henrico County, Virginia. And let's get rid of that. let's do long-term owner.
So while Gary's doing that, Cindy, you might want to check searching each one of those categories, because maybe the algorithm is trying to pair all of those in one property.
Let's see, I think at the bottom, there's a match, must match all selected. Yeah, so that means it's an and equation. And if I turn it off, it would be a or equation. It's one or the other. Yep. So there's 183 of either long-term owner or delinquent tax activity. But if I make it and, it must be both. It says there's none. And that would be, I would think, a little bit unusual. Now, one thing for sure, guys, is this is what we discovered. In almost all cases, it's not the data aggregator, it's just dumb software. It's actually the county data, how the county data is presented and made accessible. We've even seen counties around the country that weren't even updating their data. I mean, up in Maine, for example, I'm not picking on anybody. If anybody here is from Maine, please forgive me. I love the state of Maine. In fact, I'm going to be driving up through there in 2 weeks on the way to Quebec. But they don't update their records. We've looked at land deals that we know have sold, 6 months, a year, more than a year ago, because we're trying to get the land subdivided and things like that. And the data says it's still under the old owner. And we would call the county, and they're like, yeah, we just haven't been able to get around to it, So all the real estate agents up there are trying to use these systems. It's just mind-boggling. So Richmond could be one of those areas. Oh, by the way, quick pause here. The city records can be different than the county records too. That's the other thing you want to bear in mind. And this is my personal opinion, but I found the county records, in spite of what I just said about Maine, the county records to be far more reliable than the city records. I have no idea why, but we've seen that in a number of situations where there's a decent sized city inside a bigger county, and we would always lean towards using the county data. So, for example, we just did long-term owner delinquent taxes in the city of Richmond, and we did the county. So let's just type in Richmond just for grins, Richmond, Virginia. It shouldn't be, it's not going to be any different because that was the opposite direction. Well, let me go back to the county, Brittany, because I want to make sure you have something you can use here. Enrico County, Virginia. Another category we like, guys, is actually board investor. Okay. By the way, Brittany, you have 173. If I take off board investor, you have 173 homes in Henrico County that are delinquent on property taxes. But again, you'd want to double check those. You don't have to, because it's just property taxes. Your worst going to happen is somebody gets upset with you, but at least you're not dealing with courts and lawyers and stuff like that and banks. But if I just click board investor, these are investors who own the property 10 years or more. You get 687 of them. And if you add delinquent tax activity, that takes it down to 36. So 36 properties that are used for rentals in Enrico County that have been owned more than 10 years are also delinquent on tax activity. So that's a file I would pursue. I would save that file, and you and I can have a one-on-one, and we can strategize how to communicate with them. If it's 36, I would skip trace them and call them. I'm sorry, Brittany, go ahead.
I was saying, please, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Set up go ahead and save this. Use the same criteria. Use to save it to your computer, and then set up a one-on-one with me. If you don't see a time slot available, just let me know. The next couple of weeks are going to be kind of odd because I'm supposed to be on vacation next week and the week after, but I'm still going to be working. So I have some days you'll see slots available, and some days, like Wednesday, the last Wednesday of July, I'm going up to Chincoteague to see the pony run. Has anybody ever seen that? Remember reading the book Misty of Chincoteague, where they herd the horses, the wild ponies from Chincoteague to Axoteague, and auction them off at the firehouse, the fire station? to raise money. It's a classic American history folklore thing, but it's true. So I'm going to go see that. So I won't be on a computer in the water. In any case, set up your one-on-ones, guys. If you haven't set them up for a while, set them up. There'll be slots available the next 2 weeks, again, with some gaps. So Brittany, I would definitely, I would reach out to these folks. You might get it. You probably will get a hit out of this. Okay. Now let me see. I can't remember if there was other guests on. If anybody wants another file. So Heather, let me go to where you are, Heather. What's your county, Heather?
So I was looking in Marion, Marion County in Oregon.
That's right. Looked in there before.
Well, that's not the one that I was getting. The county I was getting, the ones is Lynn, Linn County. And it comes up with 0. But if I go in and put Albany, which is a city inside of Lynn, I get like 5 leads.
Interesting. Okay. And what property types are you using? Just single family home or condo, townhome, multi-family? Just single family?
Yeah.
And then you left ownership alone?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the criteria?
It was the long-term and delinquent tax.
Okay. Let me. Must match also. So I got Lynn County. I came up with 26. Let me just make sure I got the same. Oh no, I didn't have long-term owner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what that means, if you've got 26 people behind on property taxes. Whoops. Well, let me do this. Let me select long-term owner. Come on, computer.
I think if you select long-term owner, they go away. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn that match off. So you actually have no long-term owners.
Right.
According to this. So let me turn off delinquent tax activity. Whoops.
Okay.
And that would be really unusual. So, I bet I know what this is, Heather. You know what it is?
What?
I bet you they don't have records that have been.
That's what I was wondering. If the records just weren't updated.
Yeah, they don't go back that far. We've seen that before too, where we couldn't figure out what was going on, and we would look at the records that we had, download them, and sort them. You can download the file and sort it by the I think it was purchase date, and there were no records prior to whatever it was 25 years ago. So.
Okay. So that could be.
That's probably what it is.
I have another question. So I got a list of pre-foreclosures or a list of foreclosures from a title company, and I went ahead and had it skip traced. What would you suggest would be the best way? Should I start calling them? Should I send them a letter?
How many records are there?
There's 25.
I would just skip trace them and call them.
Just give them a call. Okay.
Yep. And just remember, just use the cell phone. Don't just scrap the landlines.
Okay.
Just use the cell phone. Yep.
Okay.
And then, now, having said that, how are we doing on time? Well, hey guys, I want to tell you, it's 5 after 8. I know it's supposed to be an hour class. So if you have to go, I understand completely. If you're able to stick around, we've actually got more to cover. So I just want to make that a public announcement. But so Heather, based on what we're going to go over at the end, which is what Lisa alerted me to, it was on Workplace.
Right.
It was in an email. I think for the time being, with 25 people, I would do the quick double check on the do not call list, because it wouldn't take that long. You get a free account and you just put them in there just to make sure. And also remember, the records you get back from Ansa Khalil. So everybody here, please remember this too. We don't use the skip tracing or Realeflow. I mean, you're allowed to use it, but we don't want you to use it, because what they do is they charge the team credit card, and it's a different function. We have no way of knowing who actually did it. So they apparently send the file to us, and we don't even recognize it. It must go to spam or something. So we use Ansa Khalil, and Beverly will send that link out tomorrow in the email. She's a skip tracer in Pakistan, In fact, let me
I
just
have
grab that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she's the one that skip traced the file I have.
Okay. I'm going to grab, if you wouldn't mind, Heather. Oh, here it is. Answer Khalil link. Let me grab the link. I'll put it in the chat box here real quick.
Yeah.
At least that was good. Oh, it's loading. Okay, here we go. So let's grab this. Even if you're a guest, you're not on the team, and you want to do some skip tracing, just tell Ansel you're on the team. Okay. Let me put this in the chat box here. And she'll do it a lot less expensively, like literally a third of the cost of Realeflow. Okay. So it looks like I'm getting the unstable internet thing here. Hopefully do you guys see that link in there? The Fiverr link in the chat box?
I see it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Heather. Let me go back here.
I see it.
I'm going to close out some of these. Okay, good. So Heather, I did Albany, excuse me. I did look for long-term owner, and there was none at Albany either at the county level. Yeah, and city level. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
But we could look at the delinquent taxes. I think you said there was a handful there.
Delinquent taxes. So I think you're probably right about the long-term owner thing. They just don't go back that far.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's probably what it is. Yeah. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, guys, what I want to do is I want to show everybody. Let me get out of this session here. I'm going to try to save some bandwidth and go into our team website. So I'm going to get out of my email too, just to save more bandwidth, and show you there are letters you can use in Realeflow, but I'll show you the team letter that we use on our team. And Beverly's she runs the operations team. She's the operations director. She has this letter. I'm going to have her put this letter in the email tomorrow, so all the guests will have it. You have to log into the members. And I apologize for this taking so long. It's just we're out in the middle of the country and we're on satellite service. I think that's what's happening. It could be a storm front moving in too. Did you know that you can participate in class every Monday? We call it Monday Night Live, 7 p.m. Eastern, with me and dozens of other investor agents from around the country, in fact, the world. Every Monday, totally free. No selling, no recruiting, just straight up education on anything and everything in real estate. And we have a lot of good guests coming on once or twice a month, bringing in expertise on subjects like how to buy a house with crypto. Okay. How about them apples? What about AI? How's AI affecting our business? How about the metaverse, blockchain processing? We're already using it in title work. So come on to Monday Night Live. Be ready to take notes and ask questions because it's live and engaging, and you get to participate by asking questions and meeting others. So we'll see you there. Go to realestatewithgarywilson.com. Click on the resource tab, drop down, and you'll see Monday Night Live. And in there, you can see one of the most recent classes. But more importantly, you can register for class as many as you want going up to like the end of the year, I believe. So in any case, do that. We'll see you on Monday Night Live. Look forward to meeting you in person. Take care. Right. So what we do, guys, is typically when we create a file of leads, we have a letter we use. It's in our marketing library. It's called the letter, right? The letter campaign. And Realeflow has a lot of letters too. I think 54 letters at last check. We have our own team letter. We've been using this thing for years. I mean, at least 15 years. Okay. Here's the template here. And I just want to show you why we think it works so well. And you'll get it in the email tomorrow. So you can have it too. So this is the original letter. If you scroll down, this is the template, right? Where you fill in your information. Up here is one filled out as an example. Now, if you notice, you would obviously delete letter original. There's no letterhead. Just remember that. There is no letterhead in this letter, and that's for a really good reason. We found out when we took the letterhead out, we got more responses from the letter. Okay? And inside the letter, the body of the letter, we don't mention anything at all about our credentials. We don't tell them how good we are. We're number one, we're ABR, we're CRS. None of that. We don't mention anything all about us. This entire little 6-sentence paragraph is 100% about the owner of that property, right? Let's just read it. Dear Clay, I'm writing to you about your property located at 17 Elm Lane in Etna. I'm not suggesting you sell your property if you don't want to. However, inventory is tight right now, and I have clients like Mr. Manajasic who want to buy a 4-unit building just like yours in your area. That's why I specifically sought you out. Even if you're just curious about what your property would sell for, please let me know. I'll be glad to give you a free evaluation. So I kind of rounded it up at the end there. But if you notice here, the word you or your is in here 11 times, right? We mentioned the property specifically, their name specifically. We actually used the embedded command, sell your property. We didn't say what it's worth. We said, sell your property, sell your property. We said it again down here, sell your property, what your property would sell for. It's embedded command. And the word you or your goes directly to the subconscious mind. This is about me, 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 me. Nothing about the agent. Now that we got their attention, then we tell them who we are. You legally have to tell them you're a realtor. You have to disclose that you're a real estate agent, okay? And down here we have our disclaimer. If you are currently under contract with another real estate broker, this letter is not intended as a solicitation of your business. You have to have that unless you know for a fact that this property and this owner is not actively listing it with another broker, okay? But why take a chance? Just put it in there. And then you can have a tagline like we do. We instruct, inform, and assist our clients and advisors in building wealth and income through real estate with their homes and investment properties guaranteed. Now, let's do a quick quiz here. What did I actually just guarantee?
Nothing.
Let's go ahead, Brittany. I'm sorry.
I was saying nothing.
Yeah, well, what we guaranteed is that we instruct, inform, and assist, right? Our clients and advisors, and you guys are advisors. With my old brokerage company, we called Win Realty Advisors, and the agents, we didn't call them real estate agents, we called them advisors. Because in the Board of Realtors or Code of Ethics, it actually says, guess what it says? It says we consult, we inform, we assist, and we advise our clients. So we just took it right from there. Perfectly legal. And we've had brokers tell us they got a problem with the word guarantee. And I said, look, we've used this letter probably by now with all the people I've taught, I would say comfortably 1 million times. And it had never had one complaint, not one, you know? So you don't have to put that in there if you don't feel like it, but it's worked for us. I would suggest keep it in there. That's the letter we use. This is also the script, the primary script if you call somebody on the phone. Okay. Now, let me show you one more thing here. We go to this and go back to the website. So I'm going to go back up to the dashboard. And then in our resources, under GIA resources, you'll see at the bottom here, scripts. Okay.
She contacted 911.
These are all of our scripts.
And then she spoke with another
and
family members.
There is a script here. Hey, Andre, if you can see who's not muted, that we're hearing some background noise. I appreciate the help. Let's see, cold calling scripts for investors. Let's click on that. Okay. Now, assuming, if you're calling them, you could either leave a voicemail if they don't answer, or if you look at number 3, let's say they do answer, you can use that script. But down here is where we want to get to, the objection handler. So these are what you say to people when they object. They're not ready, they're not sure. Why should they sell? That kind of stuff. And this is what you say. Well, I understand that. I get it. If you're making money, why would you sell the a goose laying the golden egg. This is dealing with an investor-owned property, by the way. However, I'm sure you see we're at or near the top of this market. If you've been around long enough to see the signs, wouldn't it be wiser decision to sell when you're guaranteed a higher profit now versus waiting a year or two or three where prices could drop again like it did in the last recession? And by the way, I like to use this a lot. Let's say somebody says, well, you know what? I own this thing free and clear. I got all that cash flow coming in free and clear every month. I'll say, how much you making? I say, I'm making $1,000 a month. I'll ask, is that net or is that gross? They say, no, that's net. I bring in $1,500 a month and I got to pay, insurance and taxes and a water bill and what have you. Say, great, $1,000 a month. How much is your property worth? Would you say, well, it's got to be worth at least $200,000 because the market's going up. I say, great. How long would it take you earning $1,000 a month to accumulate $200,000? And then it hits them like a ton of bricks. That's 200 months. 200 months, guys, is a long time, right? It's not quite 20 years, but it's not that far away. And I ask them, are you willing to wait 17, 18 years for you to get your $200,000? And would you rather have it now and reinvest it somewhere, making a guaranteed steady income where you don't have to collect rents and fix toilets? And that usually will get their attention. Now, another thing you could try, let's see, last attempt. You guys can read all this on your own. You're going to get this tomorrow. Beverly, put this in the email too, if you don't mind. So last attempt is that you got nothing to lose approach. Say, look, the reality is the only way you're going to find out what your house will really sell for is to put it on the market. You got nothing to lose. I do all the work. I take all the risk. All you got to do is sit back and say yes or no. If you don't get any offer you're happy with, you just keep saying no. Or if you don't even want to sell it, at least you'll know what the market thinks of your property, and you'll know for certain. Now, here's why this is important. I'm willing to take that risk because I know for a fact probably 30% of the people out there that are saying that they don't want to sell. You put them a bona fide offer in front of their face with a fully filled out sales agreement and a hand money check for $5,000, right? I guarantee you a third of them are going to call back and say, you know what? I want to talk through this. What's all involved here? How legitimate is this? They're interested. They want the money. Money talks. Okay. And when you put something in front of people like that, it gets them up off their and gets them talking about possibly selling. Because I'm going to do a pause here. Any questions on that, what I just went over? Okay. Who here actually went through Realeflow while we were in class and started looking around and creating some files and things like that? Did anybody go ahead and? Excellent. Good job. Okay. If we could, guys, Andre, we need to go ahead and show us what you got the other day from that session. Guys, we're going to switch gears here. Andre's in our upline, and he's going to share something he found in a recent session he was in.
Here, can I share my screen? Or
you should be co-host already. Yeah.
All right. Let me pull it up here. I couldn't pull it up and have it ready for us because I couldn't open it. But
that's okay. That's okay. While Andre's doing that, guys, I want you to please remember, check your email and go on the EXP Workplace and look for the post that talks about the latest and greatest rules on communicating with your prospects via phone and text. Make sure everybody needs to read that. If you have any questions, please let me know. We can go over them next week. But I want to make sure everybody's clear and really read it so you understand the impact. Okay, so go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. This is a new agent attraction. It's all about agent attraction and growing our passive income in our downline. Randy Bird, he was a Mike Ferry coach for many, many years. He asked me, Dan Hillsman, yours truly here, and a handful of other top agents within EXP that all have a six-figure, yearly passive income on revenue share. And several of us have, 1,000 agents or more in our groups. and we put this on, started just today was the first day. So you can go to attractboss.com and just go ahead and register for it. And if you're interested, it's going to be free between now and August 1st. So we had our session today, but we have 2 more, just so people can jump on and see what we're doing. And then if you're interested in August, you see the value. They're only going to be charging $197 a month to just pay for the cost of the admin and the other stuff that they're doing. But I'm pretty excited about it because we're going to have 3 coaching calls per month, a private page on Workplace. It's open right now, so you can go to Workplace right now and go to Attract Boss, and they'll go ahead and let you in and post it at the top. They actually have today's recording, so you can go and listen to it. And we kind of discussed today what we're going to be doing, what you can expect. It's pretty cool because there's going to be a total of, I think, 8 or 10 coaches. One of them is the guy in California that's a luxury, was it Pete Middleton? He's confirmed he's going to be one of the coaches as well. And besides the 3 calls per month and the private workplace groups, we're going to have accountability calls every single day, Monday through Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 2 hours a day. You don't have to go the whole 2 hours. You can go half an hour, or whatever. But myself and Dan are normally on there at least 4 to 6 times a week. And we've been calling, and we're basically make our phone calls to our agent prospects. So one coach will be live making their calls, and everyone else is muted, and all the members can just listen to the coach make their phone calls. Matt Stewart here in the middle, he kind of got it going in the beginning, and he's a Keller Williams past recruiter. He's really, really good on the phone. My first week, when we've been doing this for about, 6-8 months. And the first week I got on, I just listened to Matt talk to different people, solo agents, broker owners, top agents, smaller agents, and listen to all the different things. And he doesn't even use a script. I actually wrote down a lot of what he said and kind of made up my own script, but I learned a ton from it. So that's going to be a big part of it. Another thing I'm excited about is Randy's got his system set up for follow-ups for his hot, cold, warm leads, and he'll show that to us on some of the calls. We're going to be using CRM Grow and KV Core, and the automation is, I don't even have that in my business yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. But if you go to, like I said, attractboss.com. This is the site. You have a bunch of questions and answers. Like I said, it's only going to be $197 a month in August, but you can join for the next 3 weeks for free, and just kind of check it all out. And as far as when you fill out the form, you can just put, it'll ask you your name, your information, who your sponsor is, and who invited you. And as far as who invited you, if you can put my name down there as who invited you, if you'd like, and they'll know who invited you to the thing.
Hey, Andre, Brittany Taylor ran you, by the way. She just joined, and she's already got one under contract. So,
oh my God, that's awesome.
But she was asking, do they need the agents to have to already have a 6-figure income? And assuming the answer is no, this is really open.
No. I'm just saying the coaches who are doing the teaching and coaching have a 6-figure income from agent attraction. Gotcha. So they've been doing this for a while, and they have hundreds of people, and some of us thousands of people in their organization. So we've been doing this for a while. So everyone's welcome, and you can invite any of your downline people as well. It's open to everyone, and it's like everybody, me and Dan are on the same line, but like all these other people aren't. So we kind of got it together. It's just agents within EXP that kind of put this together, that were doing this every day. And it worked out so well. We wanted to invite our partners so we can help you guys all grow. And I think there were a few people on there today. I don't know if they're still on this call or not. But if I think Shastine was on, I think today. Who else was on today? I think Gina was on for a little while. I think there was a handful. I don't know if anyone's still on here that want to open their mic and say what they thought of it for the first time today.
Shastine, if you're still on, I want to go back to Realeflow too with you and look at the private lender list. But if you have any thoughts, Shastine, you want to share with Andre too, please, feel free. I wonder if she may have logged off. Let me just double
go off. Yeah.
Okay, don't share anymore. But for everybody on here,
she's not prompted to talk.
Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second. I'll find her in here. Shastine. Okay, Shastine, I just promoted you to panelist.
I'll promote it.
Yep. Let's see. She made it to panelist. Oops. Hopefully she did. Let me go click out of here. Moves out. Okay. There you are, Shastine.
Yay!
Hey, there you are. So, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I was on the call today. I was really excited to hear about it. I just felt like it was one of those divine timing things. Because I don't know about you guys, but agent attraction is something that I wanted to do. But the tension and struggle is doing both business and agent attraction, and really needing somebody to kind of just take you with where you are and help you with your limiting beliefs, with whether it's systems, whether it's what to say, how to say it to whom, whatever. And I really felt like after listening to the call today that because there's so many different individuals within this program at all different levels that are willing to share and can relate to where you are and take you where you need to be and actually show you the gaps. And that's one of the things they talked about is they will actually fill the gaps and help you fill the gaps so you can get there faster. So I was really excited about just the added, whether you were going to get on the calls every day to make calls. They talked about going over really quickly the things you would say right before making those calls if you chose, or if you were just going to sit back, because they're going to do it to where you can actually hear them live make calls with those agents that they're calling. I thought that was huge, so that we can see really isn't all that hairy scary. It's just more of making the discipline to do it and putting it in the schedule to do it. So I just felt like it's a higher accountability. And I just love the fact that I was just looking, like I said, I felt like it was a God time, and I was just looking at my revenue or a check or something I got, and I'm like, I need to do more of this. On the 20th, you get a revenue check, and you're like, oh man, this could be so much bigger, because I don't even have that many QF. Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
FLQAs.
Yep.
I have some, but not all of them are closing. I think 5 or 6 transactions within 6 months or something. I don't even know. But so anyway, this really was an encouragement for me. And the way that I had to shift my brain, because I'm like, oh, $197 a month, as I'm like, well, actually my current, revenue check that I got almost covered it. So I could just call it a swap, and be good with that. And so
the idea behind that, I mean, we were trying to come up with a price in the beginning. They were $1,000, $500, and they kept throwing around numbers. And we finally came to, let's make it so cheap that if we help you get one person that's a capper, it'll pay for this for your membership for the entire year. So, and of course, we want to help everyone 10x that. So the whole idea is just to help everyone in our downline start building. And the accountability is huge, because if you start getting to know a lot of these people, it was kind of small. There was only 4, 5, 6, 7 of us on there at a time when we were doing it. And even the days that you didn't feel like doing it, well, all your friends were on the call and you knew they were going to be doing it. They were going to be making their calls. So it just kind of pushes you to get on there and be consistent, even when you don't feel like it. And that's what was huge for me. and I don't normally get on Saturday, but Matt always gets on Saturday, and it's been a game changer for us to be on there ongoing on those prospecting calls. And you're hearing, and some of the, like, couple of the coaches only have like 200 or 300 people in their group. So like Shastine said, they're at all different levels, so they know where everyone's at. But you're able to hear people. You'll hear people hang up. I mean, I've had people hang up on me. You know, you hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's pretty cool because Matt is really, really good. He's really good on smoothing the phone. I want to sign up all over again, listening to him. And he can't turn them all. You got people that are just not open, but you'll pick up a lot of things that he does and stay in contact with him in the future. And it's all about follow-up. I mean, the money's always in the follow-up. So I encourage everybody who wants to learn more about agent traction to go to the trackboss.com. I'll put it in the chat here. And then just go ahead and check it out for the next couple of weeks. For free.
Well, not only that, but if you check it out in the next couple of weeks and you just apply the next couple of weeks that are free, and if you were able to get some agents, into the company, then, then I think that will just kind of snowball from there. But, I just have to say, I just think it's just perfect timing because it's all of everybody, big and small, both learning and growing together. The other calls that I am blessed to be able to take part in, I felt really intimidated because they were all big, what I consider to be alphas or whales, and here I am not even at 10. And I'm like, I feel like I should not be here, drunk monkey type of thing. So I just felt like this is such a perfect thing for all of us, no matter where we are in our business. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Justin.
And guys, I'll tell you too, for everybody here on the team, and some of you are under Andre, and certainly Andre is taking care of you, but for those of you on the GIA team, some of you I've spoken to directly. I decided to address agent attraction on a one-on-one basis, and that's really working out well, as opposed to me trying to do it at the group level. So have your one-on-ones, and I'll show you exactly what we can do for you internally, and you can see how that can maybe dovetail into what Andre's showing here with these guys. Like Shastine said, I'm just one person, but here you can have access to a handful of coaches who are at least as successful, if not more successful than me. And I'll tell you what got me excited. When I first started a little more than 3 years ago, the very first revenue share check I got was sometime in August. It was for an end of July closing. The property was smack dab in the middle of the median price for the country, $250,000, right? The revenue share check alone was $250 on one closing on one property for a median price property. And I'm thinking, holy smokes, I need to take this seriously. And I did. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just fumbling and stumbling and mumbling around and, putting on webinars and stuff and things like that. And it worked. But now we have it down to a science. And I'm telling you right now, we're bringing in an average of one new person per week, just in my front line, because we got it that well figured out. So that's why I'm suggesting, I've spoken with Shastine and Bonetta, Brianna, Cindy, a number of people here. If you want to have that conversation, just to see if you're even interested or should be interested in agent attraction, I think the answer is yes, but I need to see where you are currently in your business so that you can make that determination. I can show you the water, but you gotta drink the water. And everybody has their time, so I'm not going to beat you over the head. I'm just telling you. I've told you about my first check. Let me tell you about my last check. We'll get another check coming tomorrow, by the way. The one that I got in June, guys, and I don't mind sharing this because we're all family here. Just keep it to yourselves. You don't put this on Facebook. The revenue share check I got last month was $9,707. Just revenue share. Okay. I can live off of that. Most people can comfortably. And that's because I got intentional that. Yeah, go ahead, Andre. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Gary, did you see today's check? Because it was processing this afternoon, and I just looked at it just while we're on the call. They just processed it. It's the biggest one I've ever had.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about sharing it? I mean, not sharing the money, but I mean, how much?
Yeah, I'll share it.
Okay.
Let me show it to you. Seeing is believing, right?
Yep. And Andre, how long have you been here now?
About a little over 4 years, almost 4.5.
Amazing. Yeah.
Hang
But
on.
what I love is he didn't even really get serious about it for 2 years, right, Andre?
Yeah, I was part-time for the first 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday as an inside sales agent.
Yeah. And guys, remember, anything you're seeing here, this is private and personal.
Yeah.
So not to be repeated on Facebook or any kind of thing like that. Look at that.
53,266. It jumped by over 10 grand.
In 1 month. In 1 month, guys. You know,
and I'm not getting paid on level 7 yet. You can see I'm only at 25 FLQA, so that opens up 6 levels. So I only get paid a little bit on level 7. Once I hit level 7, which is only 30 now instead of 25, thank Jesus and thank Ben Sanford for that. That's going to be a game changer. But yeah, this is the month. This is last month. Oh, it jumped by 20 grand.
Amazing.
It was 33 last month, which was one of my biggest. So yeah, it went from 33 to 53. So pretty cool. We had 550 transactions. That's why, I mean, we had 550 transactions this past month out of my entire team.
Yep.
And I tell you, I've only, I've only brought in 25 producing people in 4.5 years.
That's it.
But some of those people, like Gary and a lot of you, have brought in, 2, 3, a dozen, 2 dozen. It all starts adding up over time. So it's a big deal if you're consistent. And the consistency of like getting on these weekly calls like you guys do with Gary, and then for your production, just kind of do the same thing with the Attract Boss and the Agent Attraction. It's definitely going to help bring in some extra income.
And what's really cool about this, guys, is I've known Andre for a long time. I mean, we call ourselves, we're like blood brothers. I mean, we talk every week. One of the most awesome, nice people you will ever meet. One of the most helpful people, supportive people you will ever meet. And I can tell you this too, Andre did not come into EXP with a prior brokerage. He didn't own his own brokerage. He didn't have a team, right? He just did the grunt work. He actually got on the phone and called people. That's what he did. He only
I haven't brought any big teams on either. My biggest team was an independent broker in Canada. It had the broker and 13 agents. That's the biggest I've ever brought. The second biggest was probably a broker and 4 or 5 agents. The rest have been ones, one at a time, one at a time, husband and wife. That's it.
Yep. And time is either going to be your best friend, or unfortunately, it could be not my best friend. So the best time to start is now. And the reason is you're looking at, if you saw his lines, it's like 39 people front line. That's all he brought in. 25 are producing. And then it was like 200 in the second line, 300 and 150. It all adds up to be over 1,000. My fourth line just opened up recently with 2 people. I've only got down to the third line, right? So the future looks bright. And so if anybody's out there thinking, well, I don't have a big team, I didn't own a brokerage, I didn't have a training program, Andre didn't have any of those things. And neither did Dan Hilsman, by the way. So I'm telling you, if he can do it, you can do it. If Dan can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And that cash flow coming in like that gives you options and choices in life. That's retirement money. You can't get any easier. You don't have to collect rent. You don't have to fix toilets. You don't have to do anything. It just shows up. And that's why I'm working with people one-on-one. So if you want to work one-on-one, set up your strategy call with me, and let's get to it. I did 3 of them on Friday. It was Karen, Brianna, and hang on a second. Karen, Brianna, and Bonetta. Karen, Bonetta, Brianna. All right. All 3, we did working sessions. Anna Galumian, brand new to the team, guys. Just did one activity that we gave her to do, and she had 15 agents call her from one activity about joining the EXP and the team.
I got turned down, Gary.
Yeah, Anna.
Good.
Anna went. I saw Anna for the first time at Build. She came to Build this past week, and it was nice to see her. What I
Gary,
want to show you guys is you see the levels. There's only one level one. I've only brought in one person this month, and only a couple the last few months prior to. But all these people, 30 some people, you see all different levels. They're not me.
Hey, look, there's
one.
Brittany. There's Brittany Taylor.
Gary.
4.7. Yes.
what did she do? What did she do to get 5?
It's exactly what I showed you on Friday. So now Brianna got 5 leads over the weekend. Yeah.
All right, say it again.
Brianna got 5 leads over the weekend. So if you got turned down, if you got turned down or shut down, you need to let me know so we can get on a call together.
I did.
Okay?
What did she do? I'm sorry, Gary. What did she do to get 5 leads? Because I had already had the ad up. I'm starting to get calls. I am starting to get, I got a call today, and people are starting to respond to the Indeed ad, and I put up another one this weekend. So what did the lady do to get 15 leads call her? That's what I want to know. Specifically, what did you do?
I will find out because we meet weekly. And also she's not on tonight, but maybe she'll be on next Monday night, and we can ask her directly. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And she's a hard worker. She's raising 2 daughters on her own and trying to do this. And I mean, literally I've never seen anybody. It's funny thing is, so the people that work their hardest are the ones that get the results. I mean, Vanetta, you're a hard worker. You're getting results. Brianna, look at Brianna. Brianna's got 6 foster children, and she's doing this. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, we put people under pressure, and that's when the diamonds start to shine, you know? So, my thing is the one-on-one really works. It really works, you know? And if you need a shift in mindset, you know, what I think we all do from time to time, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with having coaching. And there was at least 4 people there, and 2 of them in her upline, Dan and Andre. I couldn't think of it. My accountability call every single week is with Andre. That's how much I value him and how much I think of him, right? You guys get to have access to him, you know? I mean, I'm just one person with one mind. Just imagine if you had access to 5 or 6 more people that are having success with this.
Gary, I had to reschedule my call with you because normally it was tomorrow at 8, but that was my fresh launch to my vendor networking group. My first vendor networking group live is tomorrow at that same time. I didn't connect.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but I don't have, can you let me know if you have any free, because again, you weren't available until the following week, in which I think I had to move it because I have now this call with them on Monday. So if you get any cancellations, will you let me know? That'd be great.
Well, also, we'll tell you right now, Shastine, I have no idea why, but so remember, you have to schedule 48 hours in advance, and you can go out 2 weeks. So between 48 hours and 2 weeks. So Wednesday has spots available.
Okay.
Wednesday. Are you free 8:30 a.m. Pacific time Wednesday?
Yes, I should be absolutely free. Meaning Wednesday the 19th.
Wednesday the 19th, either 7:30, 8 or 8:30 Pacific time.
Yeah, 8:30. Do I need to go in and do it, or are you just going to do it for me?
Yeah, I'll do it for you. Yeah, because you won't, because it's within 40 hours. Yeah, that's okay. I love you. I'm gonna do everything I can to help you. Everybody else, for that matter. Yeah. So hey guys, real quick, I want to show Shastine back on Realeflow how to find private lenders. Who wants to learn how to find private lenders? That's been a hot topic lately. Andre, thanks, man, for presenting that. I got to tell you, before I get into Realeflow, I want to tell you guys one more thing here. I've had a lot of discussions with a lot of people about, should I focus on production or should I focus on agent attraction? And the answer is an unequivocal yes. It's an and equation. It's not an or equation. Agent attraction and production go hand in hand. And the reality is, just like a solo agent in production by themselves, part of your business should be attracting new clients to put in your database, The other part is servicing those clients. That's the business in a nutshell. When it comes to EXP, because we have the opportunity to build multiple streams of income, you got production, your commission income, you got revenue share from attracting other agents, and you got stock ownership. The stock has gone up 20% in the last week. Okay. Now, silly me decided to take out some of my stock last Monday because it went up to 20. Now it's at 24. I feel like an idiot, but the point is to get all three of those, you have to be in production and you have to attract people to get the full benefit. You don't have to do all, but if you do both production and agent attraction, you'll get more stock because you get stock when you bring people in too, right? And you get, of course, revenue share. Did you guys know you get stock for bringing people in? You do on their first transaction, right? So in any case, I'm a firm believer that if you focus on both, you'll have a more full life, and you'll have current income from commission and future income from revenue share. And you're going to want, you do not want to put off the future. You want to start working on it now. Okay, back to this. We're going to select people leads to find private lenders. Okay. And in people leads, you'll see you have the choice of private lenders, people in bankruptcy, or renters. Renters, if you want to look for buyers, we're going to choose private lenders, and I'm going to choose Vancouver. But you're saying that was too big of a list if we did the city of Vancouver?
Yeah, well, actually, it's for a listing in Oregon, actually, but it was past client. So yeah, I have a proper. So I did it by zip code. So what I did is I did it by the zip code of the property. So I did 97212 and that zip code. And then I did, like you said, you go under people. You told me to go under people and then go under, private lenders, just like we did. And then it showed like 3,000 or 2,000 something odd people. And I'm like, okay, what do I know that my client who wants to get the hard money lender is not going to call, I got it down to 287. Originally, when I did the Portland, it said like 2,000. And then I'm like, okay, my client's not going to call 287 private lenders. So right. I'm like, I don't know how to even narrow that down more and then we're supposed to take that. And then from here, I didn't have a clue what to do. I'm like, you said to double check or get the phone numbers through the, I forgot the terminology you said, but.
Skip tracing. Oh, answer Khalil. Yep.
So
okay.
Gary, can I ask a question on this? Wouldn't Jay Connor be a good person to call to see if he had connections in Oregon? Because I have some hard money lenders down here that we use, and they're very good, and I know they'll end up there. But wouldn't Jay Connor be one of our people?
That could be a very good contact. Yeah, Shashin. If you call Jay, he could probably tell you who he's got out your way.
I'm sorry, Jay Connor's who?
Jay Connor. He's the guy that he teaches how to get private money. I think he teaches both sides, how to be a private lender and how to attract private money. So
do I just look him up on the agent billboard or whatever in EXP? Is he an EXP agent?
No, he's a third party teacher.
He's in our recorded call
on here.
That's
right. If you
look him up under Connor.com, and I can give you his phone number, Justine.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's good. Two other ideas, Shastine, is you could take this list if you want to allow your virtual assistant to help out for a couple hours. Have her go through here and go into the county records and look for the names and look. You want to look for. See, the problem with this list is I know already. Some of these people they were a private lender, but only for one property. Could have been like a child or a niece or a nephew. So all those people who lent money privately are on this list, but that doesn't mean they're doing it for a business. At least some of them are doing it for a business. So you want to find them, you want to Google them and find if they have a presence out there, like they're offering that service. Another easy thing to do is you can have your client go to the local investor club. Guaranteed there's going to be at least 5 private lenders in there. And I like that idea better because he or she
Well, she
Can
doesn't
she-
live here locally. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives in Ohio. And so it's a grandfather's property that we need to sell really quickly. She has private investors that she works with there, but she doesn't know if they're going to be interested. So she wanted me to give her some numbers of some local private investors that would be interested in general. So I'm like,
Oh, private investors. I thought you were looking for private money, private hard money lenders.
she is looking for hard money lenders. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I not? I probably didn't use the correct terminology.
Justine, this is
Yes, ma'am.
Giselle.
I just said,
Hi, I have a connection here locally in Seattle.
Okay.
I met him at a networking event. He's a hard money. They do hard money in all states. So I can connect you with him.
Okay. Are you going to text me that or are you going to put it in the chat? Okay.
What's your phone number?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
I'll make the intro. You're welcome.
That generated a lot of.
Oops, sorry, Gisela, did you say they lend in all 50 states?
I'm not sure if the 48 or 50 states, but yes, he's all over the US. I asked him that when I met him.
Okay, could you send that to me too?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There are a number of hard money lenders that will lend in multiple states.
How do we find that list?
You know what? You can actually get for each state. There's actually a list of private and hard money lenders. I'm trying to remember how you find it. But I know there's a list for those. Let me try and figure it out.
Thank you. That was my question, Gary. I went into Realeflow looking for private lenders earlier and I was trying to discern, who is who, because one of the lenders on the list is actually someone that used to live in the property that I'm living in now. So I know he's not current.
Okay. Yeah. It's, the good news is once you do the work once for an area, then you've got your list. Now, granted, people will drop off and the new people will come on, but for the most part, you only have to do the work one time to get your list of private lenders for any area. But one of the easiest things to do, guys, quite frankly, is just go to a local investor club. And in fact, I think you should go at least once a month. So you know who the good contractors are, who's lending money, not just privately, but commercially, because you get better rates and terms. You'll also know who the better investors are, right? And that is invaluable. I mean, you'll find yourself doing a lot better once you make the right connections. And the only way to do it is to go to those events. And private lenders are a big part of it.
How do you find where the local investor clubs are? Is that something like?
RIA is the biggest outfit. It's REIA, Real Estate Investors of America. Now there's the network group, the national group, but what they did is for some reason they did not copyright protect or trademark protect the name for every state and every big metropolitan area. So people have been able to set up Oshkosh, Wisconsin RIA group, even though RIA is in the name. They didn't protect it correctly, so they're using the name, but they're not part of the big organization. So you do have to look out for that. But RIA is probably the biggest and the best. Also, you'll find other local private ones. If you went to meetup.com, meetup.com, and you can search in any geographic area, select real estate investing, and you'll see all the clubs that are set up for real estate investing. You're better off going to one of the bigger ones that's established because they'll have all the vendors. They'll have all the lenders and contractors and insurance people and everybody you need to succeed in real estate investing, So that's the easiest way because you get the reason I like that approach is you can ask the other investors and the other vendors of the private lenders which one gets most recommended, which one has because you're going to run the gamut, So, okay. Anybody here running out of steam like me? Yeah, but that is. Hey guys, any more questions? I mean, I know it's 5 till 9. We've been at it a long time here, but this has been one of the most active sessions I think we've had. Last week was really good, but this subject is so critical. How do you actually identify and communicate with leads? Because as the market continues to change, the agent that masters that will never have a shortage of people to serve and earn commissions with. So that's
I wanted to add something. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Privatemoney.com is a website, and it's where private money lenders actually compete for the business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I put it up now. But they have different types of programs. So anyway, they have, so private money lenders will compete to fund your loan, and you can just apply online. So there are different, for commercial real estate, for they have, real estate investment trusts, they have, all different things. So anyway, that may be an option for some people. It's for flipping, for having holds, whatever. So I just thought that I'd bring that up as well, because it kind of gives you an overall option as well for some people, maybe.
I like that. Can you type that in the chat box? It's privatemoney.com. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Do you want me to show it to you?
Yeah, let me hang on one second. I need to find you where I can promote you. Let's see.
I have it on my screen now, but
Oh, there we are. Hang on one second. Karen, promote. Okay, you should be able to share screen now.
okay. Can you see it?
It's just starting now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
Liz Corellis, there's a chat in there for you from Giselle in the chat box.
Okay, so anyway, so as you can see, it's just privatemoney.com, very simple. But there's all different types of things that are available. So, passive income, there's real estate trusts. It even shows you how to calculate the return on the investment, commercial real estate opportunities, flipping, it gives you a different, different opportunities here. So, and then what they do is different groups compete for the loan. So, and they work in partnership with the hard money offers. It's hardmoneyoffers.com is another website that they also list here.
Okay.
So there's just a couple. Yeah, there's just a couple here that that you could always use also.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Hardmoneyoffers.com. All right, there's type that in the chat box too, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they have them per state as well. And I just, right at the moment, it escapes me how we find that. But I have noticed this when I've looked around for other things. So I thought that I'd bring it up because it looks like, it could work. I kind of tried just looking at it just to see, how easy it was. And it was pretty darn simple. So it seemed to me that it would be a good option for some people.
This is great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Definitely. Thanks, Karen. We're going to put these in the email tomorrow too from Bev. So I just put them in the chat box, but it's hardmoneyoffers.com and privatemoney.com.
Yeah, that's right here, hardmoneyoffers.com.
Yep.
And then
privatemoney.com. Okay.
I can stop sharing if you want.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I think we're pretty much wrapped up here. Everybody feel like you got your money's worth tonight? All right, good. Hey,
awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, guys. And please set up your one-on-ones. Brianna has already left, but I'll reach out to her directly. But remember, next week, I think it's Wednesday. I don't have any time available, but the other days I do. And the following week, the first week of August, I'll have the days free through Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday, I'll be at a festival up in Quebec, and it's just going to be kind of difficult. So I'll actually take real vacation days those days. But in any case, as always, anything urgent, negotiating, a troublesome client, troublesome transaction, you can still reach out to me. It might take me a while to get back to you, but don't be shy. Rob Lane is on vacation for 2 weeks. It's just ironic that we picked the same time, but I will be working most of the days, even though I'm technically off. But Gina's, you can always reach out to Gina. There's other people on the team. I mean, you got a whole bunch of talented people here that know their stuff, and it can help you, crunch numbers, analyze a property, whatever the case is. Don't be afraid to reach out to each other. You can use Workplace to do that too, and Workplace is pretty active. So, well, I want to thank you guys for participating so much. I mean, this is what makes it fun for me, is when there's so much engagement from you. That makes it. That's my mojo. That's what gives me the positive feedback and keeps me going. Even when I'm dog tired, I will keep on going when you guys keep going. So right now I'm hungry.
Time for some ice cream, Gary.
One
like something to have?
question,
I got
one
key
question
lime
for
pie.
you before
Hey,
we
Brittany, yeah.
cut off. I still need, this has nothing to do with the call. I still need access to the NAEA to finish the other parts of my training. Nobody's responded to me on that.
All right. And you asked Sugar to intervene for you
I've
again, or-
asked Sugar. I reached out to Rob, who told me he was in Alaska, and then I
Yeah,
reached
he's
out
on.
to you, but you didn't respond. So I figured I'd just.
Hey, Andre, is there an access point you can think of, Andre? Because I know
I'm
this
looking it
happens.
up right now. The
Okay,
email,
thanks.
the email is honeybadger.
I've sent 2 emails to that.
Really?
Yes.
To honeybadger@naea.com.
Yes.
Okay. Email me, Brittany,
Okay.
at andrelafountain@gmail, and I'll forward it to Holly. And she'll do it.
Thank you.
So just email me right now so we can do it. andrelafountain@gmail.
Emailing you now.
Say you need to get access to it. And I'll forward it to Holly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, thanks, everyone. Andre, thank you again too for all your help, and thanks everybody for contributing. I know Dan's on, but I know he's on another call. But you guys keep swinging the bat, man. I'm telling you, that's the real secret to success. Is you just take action every single day. Give yourself time off because you're a human being and you got families and friends. But when you're in business mode, I mean, literally, just in football, we used to have a saying: we leave it on the field. I mean, you literally, if you don't walk off the field with your tongue hanging out and your clothes hanging off and dripped in sweat, then you didn't put forth the effort enough. Now, I'm not saying you got to do that here, but you get the analogies. When you're in work mode, give it your all because you and your family deserve it, right? They want you with them when you're not at work. So while you're at work, make sure you're getting the most bang out of your buck. Sound good? Okay. Well, I got some key lime pie waiting for me. And you guys have a good night, good rest of the week. I'll see you next Monday. Shasteen, you're on next Monday, is that right? Digital video, that type stuff. Is that you're muted?
Your mute's on.
Yes,
There you
I'm
go.
nodding my head because there's glitches in the system. So that's
Okay. Well, I'll be there too. I'll be on vacation, but I'll be there too. I might have my swimming trunks on, but I'll be there. I'm looking for that. Good. You guys want to make sure you participate in that one. This is stuff that she's been doing and got more insight from the shareholders event that I was at. And I was really blown away by what they were showing. So with everything we learned about AI and Chat GPT, man, this stuff's it'll make your life a lot easier when it comes to marketing, So, yep. Okay. All right. Once and for all, you guys have a good night. Take care of yourselves. God bless you and your families. And we'll see you on the one-on-ones next week.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.